Hello and welcome to this nighttime read. We're going to start out with the romance angels here. Uh, okay. I'm hearing that Lover Boy song, Turn Me Loose. So do with that message what you will in this beginning reading here using romance angels. This could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. Okay. So you may already know this person. You may be currently in a relationship with them. You may be in a serious relationship with them, and maybe you've been on the fence. Forgiving and learning as you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. Okay, yeah. So focusing on the present, definitely a good way to go into 2025 and work on our manifestations, right? Because if something is not serving us, then what do we need to learn from the situation? Maybe you need to forgive yourself for not knowing the answer 2 days ago or blah blah blah. I'm not sure, if we could turn back time, not possible, right? But going forward, we can live in the present and do better, right? So many people choose a different path, and that's not the path of the collective. And sometimes that path gets lonely because um the not everybody wants to learn from their mistakes, not everybody wants to forgive, not everybody wants to grow. um but here it's asking you to release and heal the past. Okay. um, and as you're doing that, you're going to start appreciating the present more often. So maybe you are celebrating. Also, be careful as you go out to any shows or, events celebrating the big 2025 kickoff, right? Healing family issues, your love life benefits as you forgive your parents, right? And I literally just heard do as I say, not as I do. So that might be the forgiving and learning part, right? Well, they said this, but they did that, so therefore I did that as well. And it's like, well, you need to forgive yourself from not learning from somebody else's lessons. Okay. Once you do that, you're going to be able to, release this pressure. Okay. That I feel like for somebody here, it has been kind of stifling their romantic life. Okay. And that's why they have been unsure if this person is the right person because they just had not gone through the healing process. Okay. Okay. Let's do one more, please. And again, here, your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. So, the parental forgiveness. It's like, forgiveness can be for you, forgiveness can be for others as well. You don't have to forgive people, but forgiveness is more about letting go, sitting in the judgment that is, the judgment that you've learned to accept. Okay. In the situation, that's how I want to say it. All right. Okay. Again, use your own discernment when watching these readings. If you need personalized reading, please reach out to a personal reader. I am not doing personal readings at this time. That may change in the future. You will be the first to know. Okay. Heart to heart conversations. honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Okay. So this healing, this forgiveness, this learning, it's going to enable you to tap into specifically your heart chakra, your healed version of the heart chakra, right? And it's going to be the catalyst for your communication. Okay. Um, so, yeah. Let's see. I guess we can get into the Lovers Oracle as well. Where? Oh, where? Oh, where? Okay. I'm like, I know they were just here somewhere the other day. All right. I moved a couple things around. So, as is life, right? Nothing ever stays the same. And um, I think whoever, thought that they were in codependency or was shielded by some illusion of codependency. I think that is another thing too, collective, where you've just been focusing on your own growth, and that's why um you are being honest with yourself, right? Enough to have these conversations in the first place, right? Um, you're not running from anything, okay? You're not chasing either, all right? You're attracting. Okay, I want to make that clear. So that is the energy of the collective at the present moment here. So when you view this reading, if you claim that energy, please do like the video. Also, please do subscribe to the channel if you wish to hear more inspirational messages to help you manifest wisely. Brought to you by me, myself, and I. Right? Oh my gosh, you guys ever see that one movie? Anyway, how could you ever forgive the mess I've made? Okay. So, it's like, how did the meet cute go? In those movies where they first meet each other and they weren't getting along, right? And then at the end of the movie, they are. A lot of people have their, quarrels with romantic comedies and things of that nature, but somewhere a mess was made, and that's why there is doubt here about this romance. Okay, so it's saying this still could be the one. Like, you know, keep your options open when it comes to that. That doesn't require you to extend a lot of energy. Okay. Because like I said, you're in the attracting mode. Okay. Um, but if you have not forgiven yet this person, this might be the time to do that. Okay. And once that happens, it may kind of clear up why this came out here. Okay. That doesn't mean you need to, move forward together with this person. It's more like you might be going on parallel tracks and then one of you switches off this track and that track. You know what I mean? And then you may part ways, right? It's just part of life. Okay. I feel like also somebody has previously been in the type of relationship where, like, I don't know, like something happens, um like you break a wine glass or something, and then the other partner gets like extremely mad or upset about like how they react. It's just like, oh, they make you feel worse. Right? Instead of making you feel better, it's like they're never on your side, And that could be why, some of you are like very unsure. Whereas somebody in a different energy, a more supportive energy, um, is, has more potential, right? So think of all the energy you gave, the wrong person. And so if you just give like maybe, 5-10% of that to the right person, like maybe something's gonna turn out for you, right? And in a more positive manner. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, maybe maybe you had to go through a divorce or some kind of separation or whatever, and maybe that was part of your family issue to heal. And also, forgiving this other person getting involved with their toxicity, right? And you're just like, yeah, I've healed now. I'm, so you might be dating right now. So some of these people that you've met casually, socially, one of these people could actually be more of a romantic partner than what you first encountered, I will say. Okay. I cannot make a decision. Okay. So somebody's flip-flopping here. Yeah, maybe you've learned that you're not you're more decisive. You're in the present moment. You're not like weighing out like, well, if I do this, then this happens, then I do that. No, 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 no. You're just like, look, I have to make a decision in the here and now. And anybody that can't accept that, I forgive that you're not ready for it. Right. I've learned that you are not to the level of this kind of decision making in your life at the moment. Right. So the thing is even like you can see the figure here, it's like you're being called to do these things, okay? um Divinely guided, okay, and using your own discernment, okay? um and part of that's releasing control, okay? And that's why these other people can't make these decisions, because it's like once the decision is made, it's like, oh god, then what's going to happen, right? Because like right here we're all safe in our little safe zone, right? So I can sit back on that and say, oh, well, I could make this decision. They have some of these people, collective, they have no intention of moving forward because they are so happy in their little safe zone where nothing bad is ever going to happen, right? They are not the risk takers of the world. Okay, and maybe that's just their role in life. We need stable, like super ultra stable people, right? So you're laughing because you understand that their conservativeness, over conservativeness has driven them to a point of creating toxicity in their life. you know Especially people like, oh, well, my family expects me to do this, and it's like, okay, so they get married to this person, but then they go run around with this person and that person. And it's like, well, why'd you get, well, my family wanted me to be married because of the business and the family money. You know what I mean? It's all that kind of garbage, right? And it's like, again, what abdication of the throne, right? King Edward. All right. Like he was like, look, yeah, I know you don't really approve of my lifestyle, my marriage, but I'm not really into this worldly throne stuff, so yeah. You know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, hallelujah, he made a decision, right? And then, I think they kind of happily lived out the rest of their days, to be honest. Of course, they had bad press and everything, but, you can't win it for everybody. And, the people that are making money off the papers are still making money. All right, just remember that. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, somebody else might be reading about it in the paper, basically. You know what I mean? It's like because they didn't want to get on the bus. It's like, oh, well, okay. No, it's not. Yeah. Find your own way, right? The way I have treated you was wrong. Yeah, they picked a different path. The way They thought their way was the way, my way or the highway. I mean, it could have been that kind of person, and that could have been this control thing because they hadn't healed their family issue yet. It's like, oh no, I have to have everybody in this little box of this where I get to pull all the levers and not accepting collective that you are a human breathing, and fallible, right? Human being, just like they are, right? Um, and I feel like collective for a lot of you gave a lot of these people and situations a lot of chances, but as you've healed you realize that for some people the second chance is one chance too many. You know what I mean? um and I don't want to compare apples to oranges, but it's like, wow, I gave so and so 10 chances, and here this other person I'm giving how many chances to? It's like, why? you know anyway, and sometimes people show up for the wrong reasons, but like, do they show up to intentionally do harm? You know what I mean? Like, and versus some people that are like so on the other path that it's like, wow, it's like you are actually trying to be a butthead, but like you do you, boo. Wow. Um, and for what purpose? You know what I mean? Even if you really don't like the person, it's like, wouldn't you rather just like maybe not to speak to them or interact with them and go about your business and do something else? I mean, you know, collectively, I feel like that's what we're doing, right? We're moving in our own directions. So again, the way they treated you was wrong. So you took the path, less chosen there. All right. Um, the Robert Frost poem, right? Okay. Um, let's go here. One more Lover's Oracle, please. So this may be the heart to heart that this person wants to have with you, collective. However, depending on who you're getting this conversation from, you may be like completely unimpressed, right? Because it's like, okay, well, same salad, different day. You know, some people's, they might be sorry, but did they change? And yeah, it's like it's almost giving this like, oh well, I guess you know let's see, what is the truth? Like, yeah, look, this person, okay, heart to heart conversation. So in their emotions about what? The fact that they can't use you anymore, they can't manipulate you anymore or make you feel so sorry for them, and oh, my life's so terrible and blah blah blah. Okay. And we all have problems and issues to get through the day, but again, part of, moving into this phase that I already covered in the first part of the reading, collective. Yeah. This is the shadow work I feel like that you've already done, whereas this person has not. Okay. Did you treat this person as good or the same, like whatever? Maybe you were indecisive a little bit by letting this person play with your feelings too much, right? I mean, there's always to interpret this, but where you're at versus where they're at. Okay, and they might just be dragging themselves through the motions is what I'm seeing here. And it's like, and it's giving off a false like apology. So, what is that song I'm getting? Boy. I guess I'm gonna use my spirit deck here. Oh, what is this falling out? The nine. Yeah, it's the Nine of Wands over I can't. You're like, I can't with you. Yeah, Pablo Cruz on that. Okay. Cool. Oh, boy, Michael, right? Anybody listen to some old school Michael for their New Year's Eve like dance party, right? That should be exciting to see who all the performers are on the different shows. If you tape you might need to tape it, right? Or DVR, whatever you have. Um, in case you pass out beforehand, right? That happens for more reasons than just one. Look at this. Nine of Wands just keeps wanting to fall out. Okay, we'll see what happens here. Um, anyway, yeah. La da, la da. Oh, yeah, yeah. Get enough. Can't stop getting enough. That's the song, yeah. All right. Da-na, da-na. I mean, was Prince not influenced by Michael? I mean, come on. Yeah. Really, watch any interviews about that. I don't know if anybody has an answer to that. Please, or some article or something, please let me know in the comments. Judgment, the three-headed dog. What did I say about the judgment? You accepted the judgment and have moved forward, whereas somebody else is like, it's almost like they need a team to help them face the judgment, right? And it's like, you collective, you did this all by yourself, right? Because it was your judgment that you had to accept. So, you may be honest in this conversation, but what I would suggest to you, collective, is, not necessarily showing your full hand. Like, if this person wants to speak about, the judgment that they're kind of recognizing as well, okay? So this may be very specific to somebody, right? And maybe this was a false judgment that they had about you, and that's why there's been some delay in the connection, okay? So whereas it may be coming together now, all right? Um, yeah, this person's gonna kind of, I feel like, plead their case, okay? Yeah, I'm not really sure how that's gonna go. So only you know the severity of this, and it's gonna vary on who the person is, right? Okay. For some of you, it's like, yeah, this mess they made, it's like, yeah, they don't get that this is, yeah. What is that song about Beelzebub in the fiery furnace we're tossed? Dun, 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 na, na, na. Oh my God, there were so many songs they made us sing. Something in Abednego. I haven't thought. Yeah. Anyway, again, if somebody knows that song, please put those in the comments. Probably it's something I learned in school. But it's so funny how like in school, like I learned all these like religious and cultural songs and stuff more than I feel like church like hymns and stuff. Although we did sing hymns in church. A seven of swords, cannibal. Yeah, I feel like this person has been kind of cannibalizing your time by this indecision, and you've forgiven. It's like, the sinking ship. You know, there's the people that decided maybe not to jump off of the Titanic and go for it, right? Maybe they sunk. I mean, unfortunately, and then maybe a few jumped out there and got lucky and got pulled into a boat. I mean, I'm just saying, for an extreme example, you really had to make that decision, and they did not. And they just want to prance through your little, happy land. of, sheep here that you've now collected, that you're, like maybe you're a sheep farmer now. I have no idea. Okay. And it's like they want to come through and like, you know, um, yeah. And it's like, and they're like, "Ooh, aren't I exciting?" Blah, blah, blah. And you're like, "No, you're just messing up my sheep right now. You're messing up my peace, my tranquility." Right? So yeah, you were focused on the present moment, whereas this person's focused on all these other moments that they wanted to have besides the moment with you. So, you know, maybe that can help you if you haven't made a decision yet, collective. Okay. Just saying, uh, everybody has a limit. And you don't need to feel guilty for that. You don't need to feel guilty for having limits, boundaries. Okay. Uh, safe spaces, whatever it is that you need. All right. Okay. All righty. So, yeah, instead of going towards love here with the Lover's card, they went towards the succubus energy, literally. Okay. And that was part of the way they treated you as wrong. Okay. Um, for some of you, this could be like that was part of their family cycle, and you were just like, look, I don't do this. You know, Um, you could be more in a traditional family. You're like, look, we're like a one and done married type thing, setting the intention of, right? It's not just who we're with right now, like just so we can be with somebody. All right. Like that's not what's the collective is trying to accomplish, right? And I think that's the trap maybe that this person fell into, but they fell in very willingly. And again, maybe because they didn't heal some family grief or whatever. Okay. Um, yeah. So yeah, what is the truth, collective, right? If this person, whoever this, it's almost, I feel like this woman is like pleading almost to this man, and he's just so uninterested. It's like, oh, well, you were gone, so I decided and this guy's just like, why am I even here listening right now? That's kind of what I'm getting on this. And it's because this person has rarely, if ever, told the truth, right? Hmm. Eric Clapton, right? Tell the truth. Right. Anyway, Four of Swords. Yeah, you're getting your beauty rest. Well, this person is kind of still getting the life sucked out of them by this. Whatever. And look, your overall energy is here, the star. Okay, you may have reinvented yourself a little bit, collective. Okay. To the point where, yeah, it's like, maybe this is somebody that, oh my gosh, you wish you would have had like the apology and them pleading to come to you and everything. And now you're just like, you don't even, it's like you might not even want, did they gaze upon the countenance? Do you know what I'm saying? Like the countenance may not be acceptable at this time. And you are not obligated to receive it either. Okay. Because I feel like this person could be like searching your expression to see if you're like buying it. And it's almost like you already dreamed up the perfect apology, and you've slept on that for days now, if not weeks, years. Vampires are um creatures that go into centuries, right? So tale as old as time. It's like, what? We've heard this before, right? And this person could still be like, "Oh, but I would do anything. Look, I'm just throwing myself at you." This mask, whoever this vampire, it's just like, eh, maybe when I wake up tomorrow, I'll care. You know what I mean? Because for years and years, maybe somebody had to figure out the truth on their own, okay? Um, and now it's like you don't even care what their truth is. This is the message that I'm getting, you guys. It's kind of comical because it started out so nice with this romance thing, especially with this could be the one here. So, it's like whose energy is that, right? I guess let's get some clarification from the writer Waite. Yeah. And the tarot. Let's see. What else is going on? Please do like the video, subscribe to the what's going on with this collective here. Yeah, I feel like a lot of you collective really have forgiven yourself. Yeah, and that's why, fortune smiles upon the brave, reaching for glory. Okay. Jupiter energy as well, which has been visible recently in the winter time. So, look outside your window, right? Instead of looking at, this, right? Look at the broader picture. Knight of Swords. Yeah. Um, yeah. I feel like collective, anybody that kind of comes to you to try and take advantage of you, you're just like, um, you're like, look, I don't really have time for this right now. I'm doing this. So, you're just gonna have to figure it out another time. I feel like is kind of what you're saying. And there might be some dramatics, there might be some wailing, some crying, but like this person's gonna trust me, they'll get over it. Because it's like it's the act, yeah. I mean, daytime Emmy, not prime time, but like daytime Emmy worthy, maybe. Nominee, right? Magician, Mercury. Are we still in Mercury retrograde? What is happening, right? Yeah, this person succumbed to, whoever this entanglement is, right, right. It didn't mean anything. I just kept going back for more and more and more. Like at a certain point, you gotta accept that you're in a relationship, you know? You might not want to put labels on it, but your actions say otherwise, right? Um, so the way I've treated you is wrong. This may be applying to others besides you as well, collective, okay? With this situation, because somebody thought they could literally wave their magic wand. Yeah, that kind of wand, and like everything was gonna be hunky dory. Um, this person could have Gemini in their chart as well. Yeah, they thought it was going to be enough to get you to love them again and then get back in this cycle, right? I mean, some people think that that's enough to sustain a relationship, right? And, you know, the thing is, it's like somebody else who entered into it that way. It's like, well, they were meeting the requirement. It's like, and then you're gonna treat that person, you know, ill as well, in the end. But yeah, it just doesn't seem very honest at this time, whatever this heart to heart conversation is. So yeah, you may come off as a little defensive. You may just call it, they could, and especially if you are like, if you say to them, you're like, look, I don't really feel like listening to this right now. And they'll, because you smell the BS, you might just say, look, this, put it in a letter. Maybe I'll read it one day. Maybe I won't. I don't, you know, um, you have a right to defend your territory. You know, this was coming through earlier today. I was channeling, my old basketball days, and I was a forward. And if you don't know what a forward is, that means they're the people that stand closer to the backboard, like towards the basket, right? So they get in a lot of the action. Okay. And I used, and I'm not the tallest girl. I'm like kind of mid range for like basketball for girls, I would say, like at the level I was playing, right? I would get tossed around quite a lot, and and you'd have to box people out, use your hips and stuff like that. And some girls would, they'd elbow you, and like you started to get creative, like I would put my hair in braids so I could whip my hair around, like catch one of them in the face every now and then. I mean, you had to get creative, right? Because some of these women were very, very aggressive. And this one game, it was like a morning game, like Saturday morning, right? And then I have to go out and like rough and tumble with these, witchy girls on the court. And I had just been like getting it on the court that day. And like no fouls were getting really called on them. Of course, you know what I mean? Is all that kind of that. Who knows what you know what I mean? But I was really getting pushed around. And then there was one play that I ended up kind of like shoving this girl, and because she had her hands all over me the whole game, and she ended up bouncing her forehead off of the bleachers. And then she had this giant like bubble and bruise over her eyebrow. And of course, I got called for a foul and ended up taken out of the game. But I looked around, I was like, hey, she's been on me the whole time. It's like, who knows? She might have exaggerated a little bit, but I mean, it's like, hey, you push around somebody enough, they're going to start defending their territory. Don't be surprised, you know, when stuff hits the fan. Okay. Territory. I even bought a scratch off today. I didn't win the big Mega Millions, guys. Sorry. Um, I hope one of you won something out. I didn't even get a single number on either of my uh line like lotto picks, whatever. Anyway, um, so I bought some scratch offs today, and because I happen to have some cash on me, and one of them actually the one of the words in the crossword was territory. So it's interesting that this came out here. So, you might be having the heart to heart conversation with somebody's being like, look, I mean, this is my territory. This is how I run things. And they might not be wanting to hear it because they were like in this control zone, right? Like, I control things, I run things, I'm the magician, I'm the one who makes things happen. And it's like, well, when you make things happen, this is what happens. So, you know, you can leave me out of that chaos, right? Is what you're telling them. Okay. And if you think I'm not going to tell you to get off my porch, like, come on now. So hopefully for, most of you, that is a relatively minor conversation. Like I said, some of you are just like not going to be interested in accepting it. Some of you have maybe already moved on or unreachable. This person might have to mail. Yeah. My baby, she sent me a letter, right? She wrote me a letter. Alrighty then. I believe this is good for this message. Now I'm getting the close out. So, um, Gemini kind of appears here twice too with the lovers and the magician energy. All right. So this person could have Gemini aspected in their chart. Do check out your Jupiter placement as well with the Wheel of Fortune. Remember, fortune smiles upon the brave, but to be responsible, right? That's what's part of the learning is. It's like, okay, we can still go out and party, but we're not going to drink, 8 drinks like we used to in our 20s. We're going to go out and have 2 cocktails, right? And take a cab home. And the babysitter is going to be thrilled that you showed back up on time, right? It's like, is it really so difficult? But hey, anyway, that's the message. Please do take some positive positivity into your 2025. And remember, as always, to manifest wisely. Bye bye.